Alrighty, welcome everybody. Welcome to Argon the Noble. New channel I just set up. It's kind of my dream child, I guess you could say. Something I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And I'm finally doing it. I'm finally kind of invested myself and invested, I put some money into it too. I've got some different equipment that I've bought, microphones and stuff. I've tried this multiple times. With some different stuff, but I think this is the dream run. So today I'm playing 80 Days, I believe it's called. Just picked it up on Steam like, 5 minutes ago. I booted in. There's really no setup screen. The music's still loud. I'm gonna cut that back again. So, I go, hopefully that's good. So, yeah, let's just jump right in. I have no idea what this game's about, really. I'm gonna click to begin, though. Let's begin in London. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club and in a new-fangled steam carriage besides. I helped him down, and the iron-lug steam-driven horse clattered away. Passepartout, he said. We are going around the world. Around the world, Monsieur? Or very good, Monsieur? I kind of like that one. It's just kind of cheeky. I murmured dutifully, not believing a word of it. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed this wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25 in an hour. But of course, I answered, still extremely suspicious. He nodded. Good. Pack an altimeter in my evening jacket. There's not a moment to waste. Let me see. You, passport, now have funds. Your character is now dependable. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's like, I just achieved something. Okay, so I got $4 grand, and I'm... Oh, okay. So the options I choose and what I do will affect it. So very interesting. New routes to London to Paris. Collect our things and we'll be off. Okay, so I guess pack's the only out. Oh, there's just a moment to seize anything further that I thought might be useful for a long trip. Oh, I like this. Okay, so he said we definitely need this. A deck 50 suit with a whisk drive or two of interest to humorous, stalwart, official, and soldier types. Part of the Englishman's wardrobe. Are we going to Paris? So I'm going to take that. That might get us something. I'm going to take this too because that looks kind of important. Those things are, they are what they are. So let's see. Okay, so I think since I took that shipping timetables, it unlocked. Wow, look at this. This game cost me $9.99. I don't think it was on sale. I believe that's just the price right now. But honestly, 2 minutes into this game, I like how they set it up. Zoom in, zoom out. Probably set to me, so we'll just depart. Embark, yes. One suitcase, which will suffice. This looks like a bearable option. Okay, let's go. Oh, I hope that speeds up. Dun, dun. The mechanical horses race past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to the Charing Cross station. We have no tickets, I exclaimed. We raced along the concourse and threw ourselves aboard. It's daredevilish. I like it. As the second whistle shrieked its warning, we barely had time to take our seats before the guard rapped smartly on the compartment door. He held out a hand. Tickets, please. Alas, monsieur, we are in a great hurry. I pretend to have lost them. Let's go with this, I explained, giving him a beseeching look. We did not have time to buy tickets. You may purchase them from me, the guard was saying. Though it is more expensive, I'm afraid. 85 pounds, please. I argued with him. Or rather, I began to, but Monsieur Fogg interrupted. Passepartout. See, I feel like that's passport, but I guess it's a guy's name. So, you will pay the sum at once, he put it coldly, and remunerate this man for his patience. I'm going to give the man 100. And added a word, I gave the man 100 and added a word or two of advice about allowing a little leniency to gentlemen in their hours of need. The guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut with a pneumatic hiss. Gone down by a fair amount. Okay, so maybe we don't get money very often. So that's interesting. But I grabbed that wax cylinder that said it was valuable. Converse. Begin conversation. I'm at your service, Monsieur Fogg. Passepartout. Begin conversation. Journey. Let's talk about it. But tell me, Monsieur, what is the purpose of our journey? I have made a hefty wager, and I do not intend to lose. Money. Side note, there was intro credits right before the kind of screen where I clicked London. And this whole thing obviously is based on the novel by Jules Verne. So it might... I've never read the book, so this might be kind of how the story plays out. It might just be a visualization of that game. So this journey will be most expensive, Monsieur. Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel. Okay. That makes sense. Very good. London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological achievement. Monsieur Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags. We passed the day in silence. Is this gonna... I'm gonna go with this, okay, so it's not like I can pull stuff out. I thrown together in haste and confusion as afternoon turned inexorably to evening. I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door a few miles before Dover. We are about to submerge, he warned. Take some people a bit funny, so watch out. I don't know if this was a British company who made this game. I am not too sure. So, forgive me if I'm not picking up on some of these things. But what do you mean submerge? Very good. I replied as though submerging inside a 1,000-ton metal train was quite ordinary for me. If you feel claustrophobic, the guard replied, try running up and down the corridor. I always find the exercise helps. With that, he closed the door. I could not help a shiver. I pressed my face to the window glass. Would Monsieur Fogg be claustrophobic? I doubted it. He appeared not to be constrained by mere matters of place and circumstance. An alarm sounded and the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell and we plunged past the end of a track into the freezing water of the English Channel. Your relationship with Fogg has strengthened slightly. Okay. Very cool. Amphitrite Underwater Express. So, I've never been to England, but you'd have to assume that there is underwater passages. I guess I never thought about it. So, the Amphitrite plowed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks at Cairns as dawn broke. Can't read today. Do you have a route in mind, Monsieur? I began to consider what we might require for our journey. Maybe this will give us some options to think about what we need. Loose clothing for hot weather, furs for cold, driving clothes for roads, and weatherproof gear for our boots. I guess roads are probably dusty back then. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Will we venture north or south? Well, we would have to purchase the necessary items. I guess this might tell us east, he replied, with an utter certainty. Even so, there are several routes to consider. Safe or fast? Safe. What is the safest? Monsieur Fogg raised an eyebrow. There is no place in the world which is not safe for an Englishman, he said coolly, and with great finality. Parbleu, I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived at Paris Gare du Nord just after 1 o'clock. Okay. Ottoman porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart, I was home, but not to stay. Okay, so there's a lot of kind of interaction in between these little point-to-points. It's not just instantaneous. Explore, losing 4 hours. Market. Let's go here first because I'm not losing time. I can get an extra suitcase for 10. Can I buy that? Oh, okay. Wax cylinder, sell for 470. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it because I don't think I'm gonna really need that for anything. What is this good for? Worth? Okay. Yeah. Okay. If it's worth that much, I'm definitely gonna buy that. Good for keeping. I'm gonna need that. Oh, is it not? Okay. Geometry equipment. A set of geometric drawing instruments precisely made and beautifully presented. A shaving kit. I'm gonna go with this. It looks like it might be useful. I'm not gonna get that for the moment. Maybe we can grow a beard and help us in the cold weather. So we'll see. Can I exit here? Oh, there we go. Close the luggage. Okay. Oh, it was at 10 a.m. Ah, shoot. Okay. I guess I didn't think about that. I understand how this works now. Okay. Well, we'll go to the hotel. We'll pass the night here. Day 3. Wow, I can feel the pressure. We took a hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Monsieur Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available where possible. We'll go with this. We cannot travel where it is not possible, certainly, he replied. Still, the surrounds of the hotel risks were most enjoyable. So I'm going to explore. What's that going to get me? Okay, so I discovered some new routes. Oh, okay. We had a few hours to spare. I asked Monsieur Fogg if we might enjoy the city before we had to leave. Indeed, and you should learn anything of note, but be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was only one thing: an enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars and containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. My city still wore the scars of last year's siege. I ventured inside, but I was certain Monsieur Fogg did not intend me to visit fairs. I'm going to go inside, because he said if I can learn anything, definitely relay it. An artificer was placing an arc light. Went west towards the airship hangar. Let's talk. Can we talk to this guy? She first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights and spinning iron wheel, which was wound around with a series of amateur coils. What is this device, artificer? Let's talk to him. See if we can strike up conversation. Her, I should say. What is this device? I asked politely, my eye straying to the copper lily pin which proclaimed her profession. It's a bleeding nuisance, is what it is, the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. These grand machines are finicky beasts. Grand machines? Is that so? I have often found that to be the case. Let's act like we know something about it, I replied cautiously. Oh yes? You're an artificer, are you? You look like a stuffed bird. I laughed. No, artificer, merely a valet. Well, When I next have a gear shaft that needs its whiskers trimming, I'll call for you. I retreated hastily, not all in terror or of her irate tone. The harshness of her tone was belied by her gentle touch. Take this idea. As she unscrewed the arc-like globe of the enamel glass and replaced the 2 carbon rods within, she reconnected the supply, and the 10 yokobarf candles connected in a series lit up once more. They are miraculous. Will all streets be with electricity soon? I asked. There are already a fair passel of cities lit by electricity rather than gaslight, she retorted. London will probably be the last, given old Queen Vicky's Queen Vicky prejudiced against the Artificers Guild. The Queen is against you. But Paris is modern, and we still use gaslight. Surely London is the capital of invention. I asked. There are even terrific steam carriages on the streets these days. The artificer gave me a pitying look. London's not as advanced as you think, laddie, she replied. There are more automata in the colonies than on London streets. She looked at her pocket watch, cursed, and hurried off, dropping something as she went. I hurried after her to return it, and she thanked me. My medallion. I'll need that to get my lunch from the canteen, thank you. I bowed in return, and she giggled. Stop that, you make me blush. She rubbed the coin thoughtfully. I was given this for my work in Istanbul, you know. I made a very special automaton. I guess is probably how you say that. I think it works as a driver now, on the route from Izmir. I think that's right. An interesting tidbit, she smiled. We artificers go all over the world, you know, she declared. How about that? Then she bid me farewell. Avenues sprawled, direction between the inevitable illuminated pavilions of the exposition. Okay, so time is paused. I was wondering about that. I guess we're so involved in this now, we might as well go down here. Maybe we can learn some different things about, you know, because she said they travel the world, so. Travel towards purple tents, draped with banners, embolize their copper lily sigil. A steam-powered automaton orchestra playing gleaming brass instruments. It had to be the most incredible display of machines, as though a scrapyard had been brought to a playful life. One of the officers was explaining the guild's credo of to a group of large, sticky-fingered children. I like this guy, more engineer type. He took out a piece of engraved glass and peered at it with a jeweler's loupe. Dash thing, he cursed in the upper-class English tones, and then looked up. Oh, hello. I didn't mean to interrupt. What are you doing? I said politely. Nonsense, young man. He waved with the glass shard dismissively. I'm trying to build an automaton that can cook, you see. It is not going well, he looked mournfully. This one can't even fry a chip. Surely humans are perfectly capable of cooking, I remarked. Do we need automata for such things? You have clearly never been to an English boarding school, he replied, and shuddered. The things old Miss Parsons could do to a cabbage. The tender stomachs of Britain's youth would be much safer in mechanical hands. Perhaps they should simply hire French cooks, I suggested with a little wink. A French cook, eh? The officer stroked his mustache thoughtfully. Good thought, old chap. Perhaps I'll go and find myself a cook to model, my automation upon. The artificer smiled. I wished him well with his culinary endeavors. He was at least in the right city to find a cook and return to the center of exposition, ears ringing with the bombastic tunes of steam orchestra. Crowds of tourists jostled and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder. I decided to take my leave. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef. I'm going to call that beef lasagna. Did you enjoy the exposition, my master? Inquired diffidently, as though I'd been out visiting an aged great aunt. having a preferred hearty meal and an English newspaper. And I nodded. Nothing else could possibly impress me now. We are unspeakably lucky to live in the city in such an age of invention. Do you think we will encounter artificers on our travels? Quite a lot of reading and different text in this, so you know, it's got an interesting side. I know there's definitely a lot of adventure. I think I just chose the path that was the most clicking and talking. So we'll finish up this here and get ready to move on to the next episode. But we'll finish this out here real quick. Nothing else could possibly impress me now, I declare. Ah, my friends, how little I knew. I dreamed that night of mechanical wonders, automatons with beautifully enameled faces, knowing little of the strange inventions and stranger peoples I would soon encounter on my journey around the world. Alright, I discovered some new routes here. Looks like Izmir to Istanbul, Paris. Alrighty, so we're going to end the episode here. Episode 2, we're going to check out that bank and see what we can do. So thank you for joining in, and thank you for visiting Argon the Noble, and I think it's kind of fitting to start it out like this. Very noble society, very proper English. So alrighty, we'll see you in episode 2. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.